Hello, hello, hello. Okay, round two. We'll probably go to 8 o'clock. We'll go 2 hours. Um, we had a great show, the first one, everybody. Thanks for looking at the channel. We got 360 we got on the first show earlier. Appreciate it. Oh, that fine go. Ooh. Captain Kyle came out with another video, you guys. 8 minutes. 7 minutes. Hey, Paul.
Working right now, a judge.
Maria, happy Sunday, everybody. Yep. When stuff comes out, when it rains, what they say, when it rains, it pours, with all everything coming out. There you are, Spaz. You missed it. She was on for a short clip, but they cut her off at the last 10 minutes. It was about 15 minutes we got to listen to her. She said that she's getting, they're blocking her. So, well, we got to listen to her for a little bit. She was in Chicago. And we'll start at the 5 after mark. That's the end of the race here. 47 laps, and Hamlin's fourth. I guess there's some breaking news out of Mexico, you guys. You guys see that on YouTube? I think we all are Paul, barbecue chips. So we'll go ahead and get started. We'll log in. What? What are you doing? You want to come up here? Come on. You don't need no food. Come on. Want a window? You want a window? Huh? You can say hi to everybody? Huh? Who's that? Who's that? Chico. 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 Hey. You want to say hi to everybody? I'll be up. Huh? Huh? They're saying hi to you. Huh? Arr. Beat you up. I want to beat you up. Where you going, huh? You go find a deer out there? They haven't been out lately. Huh? Oh. I'm gonna get the window real quick for Chico. Get up there. Come on. Come on. Yep, he's a hunter. Oh, yep. Every time he goes out, he chases the birds and all that. When it gets warming up out there, I'll take him to that fenced in area when the weather warms up. He can go in there now. I got a couple short clips to start off with. Oh, come on. Here we go again. Oh, I gotta try it again. All right. Another wreck. Who caused this one? Oh, not Hamlin. Oh.
Marriage certificate? Absolutely. Oh, you changed your last name. Okay, I'll need your ID and marriage certificate to update your social security record. No problem. We're gonna need your ID to update your driver's license or state ID. Got it.
Yep, I'm watching
Your passport
something
needs to match your
on
legal
race.
name. Can I see your ID?
Thanks.
Yep. We're gonna need to verify your identity to update your bank account and verify new cards. Yeah, here's my ID. Can I see your ID before you board the plane? Yep. I'm gonna need to see your ID for controlled medication. Can I see your ID to make changes to your account? Can I see your ID to vote?
What did you say? That's sexist. How dare you?
I'm sorry, but didn't you just literally use it 12 times today? I have to show my ID to get married, change my legal name, update social security card, get a new driver's license, update my passport, fly on a plane, open and manage bank accounts, get prescriptions, verify my age, sign legal documents. But I'm sorry, voting is just where I draw the line. Do you hear yourself?
Oh, that cracks me up. No, I was watching the race. There was a wreck there, and Kay's not going to like it. Logano caused a wreck. I don't know if Hamlin's still in or not.
I said it before and I'll say it again. Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
I used to rule the world. Seas would rise when I gave the word. Now in the morning I sleep alone. Sweep the streets I used to own.
Yeah, playing your video, Carol.
I used to roll the dice. Feel the fear in my enemy's eyes. Listen as the crowd would sing. Seas would rise when I gave the
Okay, that was kind of neat seeing that. This is Maryland news where Carol's from.
Still higher?
Almost. The abolishment of the 287 program is not the abolishment of ICE. They're going nowhere. In fact, they're going to intensify their efforts.
And I did explicitly say that no politician is going to tell me that I can't communicate with another law enforcement agency on matters of public safety in my community.
And we're back, y'all. Thank you for watching today. Go ahead and hit that like button. Vote. You know that it helps us out a ton. And of course, it helps you because it helps us keep bringing you these stories every day. Now, y'all, in the versus governor, law enforcement versus mayor type of situation. So without further ado, y'all, let's go ahead and get into it.
The abolishment of the 287G program is not the abolishment of ICE. They're going nowhere. In fact, they're going to intensify their efforts. We warned them this was going to happen, and it's going to happen.
A warning on Wednesday issued by sheriffs from the 9 Maryland counties forced to end active partnerships with ICE under a new state law.
It is the biggest betrayal to law enforcement.
You know them, Carol?
And public safety that I have ever seen.
There will be people missed. And that is my concern. There'll be people missed and who will be re-released into our communities who pose a threat.
The legislation signed by the governor Tuesday abolishes 287G agreements with ICE.
It says that in Maryland, we defend constitutional rights and we defend constitutional policing.
Here on Wednesday, the sheriff sat down to talk next steps and decided it won't be a court battle.
Even if it's not formal, even if the MOUs are banned, we go forward with our federal partners in Immigrations and Customs Enforcement, doing the will of not just public safety, but also the will of the Maryland people.
Baltimore's ICE field office director and the HSI special agent in charge both had seats at the table, but declined to talk to us on camera. The Wicomico sheriff said he just talked to the feds and said this.
Mark my word, you will see a dramatic increase in the presence of ICE in this state.
Now, the sheriffs are coming out and outright saying that they are not going to comply with these directives, at least not the way that the lawmakers want them to. They're looking for workarounds. They talked about even filing a lawsuit, y'all. That's kind of in limbo as to whether or not they're going to take all of this to court. But they are saying they're going to continue to work with ICE however they can while they figure out next steps. So again, y'all, the sheriffs are in what I would call pretty open revolt.
And I did explicitly say that no politician is going to tell me that I can't communicate with another law enforcement agency on matters of public safety in my community. I think it's a shame that the governor is signing legislation like that. And I've had many conversations with the governor. He knows better. He knows this is not about public safety. It's about politics.
Carroll County Sheriff Jim DeWeese calls the move to ban 287G agreements in Maryland short-sighted.
Annapolis is very popular for creating legislation and ramming it down everyone's throats and realizing that they screwed up the legislation and coming back and trying to fix it because they don't think this through.
His department joined under a new model last March, made available as the Trump administration expanded its deportation efforts, called the Warrant Services Officer. 6 other jurisdictions in Maryland also joined it within the last year. 9 total participate in 287G. Under it, the Carroll County Sheriff's Office could serve an active administrative warrant on behalf of ICE or alert the agency about an undocumented immigrant with a deportation detainer if they were in their custody. DeWeese says despite the ban on the program, they'll continue to work with the agency in a similar capacity.
I don't know if I've seen this before where the sheriffs, where the local law enforcement just comes out and says plainly that we are going to continue to do the thing that the legislature and the governor just told us not to do. But they have taken official steps to wind down some of their ICE cooperation. So it seems like they're kind of between a rock and a hard place. On the one hand, they have an oath to protect the community. And on the other hand, the politicians are telling them not to protect the community, but to bend to the political will, to the political winds, if you will.
Meanwhile, Sheriff Chuck Jenkins in Frederick County, whose department has one of the longest standing 287G programs in the country, has suggested challenging it in court.
I'm willing to fight that fight because I know this program has kept my county safe.
Critics say any further steps to limit law enforcement communication with ICE would only lead to federal blowback and more, not less ICE operations on the streets. Blair Sable, WMAR 2 News.
Now, some people have said that government.
That guy is on YouTube. He does okay. I got a 20-minute one, I think, of this next one. See how this one is.
The Border Patrol commander in charge of President Trump's immigration crackdown in Chicago is being reined in by a federal judge.
We are following breaking news out of Chicago, where a judge has just ordered hundreds of individuals detained by federal agents.
The federal prosecutor's hand trembled as she opened the encrypted file. 7 years of wire transfers, 43 dismissed cases, and every single one traced back to the same judicial signature, Judge Idris Mahmoud. The courtroom where justice was supposed to live had become a cartel's insurance policy. This is what $27.9 billion of protection looks like. But to understand how a respected federal judge became the most valuable asset the Sinaloa cartel ever owned, we need to go back 72 hours to a freezing night in Chicago when everything started to unravel. 2:31 a.m. South Side, Chicago, Illinois. FBI cyber surveillance detected something that made veteran analysts call their superiors at home. A ghost server pinging from inside the Dirksen Federal Building, transferring encrypted financial packages to shell accounts in the Cayman Islands, Singapore, and Dubai. The volume was staggering. The timing was surgical.
That was the one I was
And the
talking
access
about.
codes? They belonged to someone with judicial clearance. Special Agent Maria Castellanos stared at the monitor in the FBI Chicago field office. She'd spent 14 months tracking Sinaloa cartel financial networks through the Midwest. Money laundering operations using car washes, logistics companies, real estate portfolios. But this was different. This wasn't a cartel washing money through businesses. This was a cartel washing money through the justice system itself. 3 questions burned in her mind that night. Who inside the federal courthouse had this level of access? How long had they been operating undetected? And what would it take to bring them down without triggering a complete collapse of public trust? The encrypted file had one word in its metadata: blueprint. What it contained would force the FBI to make a choice between exposure and control. And what they found in the next 10 minutes would make that choice for them. Keep watching. 4:47 a.m. FBI breach teams hit 9 locations simultaneously across Chicago and the surrounding metro area. Flashbangs shattered the pre-dawn silence in Pilsen, Bridgeport, and Logan Square. Doors exploded inward. Federal agents in tactical black moved like shadows through luxury condos, industrial warehouses, and storefront law offices that hadn't seen a real client in years. In a nondescript office building in the Loop, ICE agents found what looked like a legitimate financial consulting firm. Glass walls, expensive furniture, framed degrees on the walls. But behind a false panel in the server room, they discovered something else entirely. 42 external hard drives, encrypted beyond military grade, and a handwritten ledger with case numbers, dates, and dollar amounts. At a warehouse near O'Hare Airport, DIA tactical units breached a refrigerated trucking depot. They expected narcotics. They found 6.2 tons of cocaine hidden inside frozen seafood shipments, 1,700 kilograms of methamphetamine, packed into industrial cleaning supply containers, and 840,000 fentanyl pills disguised as legitimate pharmaceuticals. The street value? $467 million. But it was what they found in the office trailer that changed everything. A satellite phone with only 3 saved contacts, a laptop with facial recognition security, and a photograph. A photograph of Judge Idris Mahmoud shaking hands with a man federal databases identified as a high-ranking Sinaloa cartel financial operative. The timestamp on the photo was 6 weeks old. The location metadata? A private airport in Guadalajara, Mexico. 8 hours later, FBI Cyber Command, Chicago Field Office. Digital forensic specialists were cracking the encryption on the seized servers. What appeared on their screens made the room go silent. A network. Not just a money laundering operation. A system. 43 shell companies with interlocking directorships. Cryptocurrency wallets transferring funds through 14 countries in under 90 seconds. Real estate holdings worth $630 million purchased through straw buyers and dissolved LLCs. And at the center of it all, a digital trail that led directly to a series of court cases. Cases involving cartel members. Cases that had been dismissed, delayed, reduced. Over the past 7 years, 89 federal cases involving narcotics trafficking, money laundering, and organized crime had passed through Judge Idris Mahmoud's courtroom. 61 of them had resulted in dismissals, mistrials, or sentences so lenient they became statistical anomalies. The pattern was invisible if you looked at any single case. But when you mapped them all together, it was a blueprint for judicial corruption on a scale federal prosecutors had never documented. One analyst, a 12-year veteran named Robert Chen, sat back in his chair and whispered one sentence to his supervisor. He's not just protecting them. He's running their legal defense from the bench. But the encrypted servers revealed something even more disturbing. Judge Mahmoud wasn't working alone. The network had a silent partner, someone with access to federal law enforcement databases, someone who could see raid schedules, witness lists, and confidential informant identities 48 hours before operations went live. The mole hunt was about to begin. And if you think this is big, the next discovery will shock you. Stay with me. 6:14 a.m. Joint Task Force Command Center, FBI Chicago Field Office. A digital map of the Chicago metropolitan area covered the entire wall. 83 red markers pulsed across Cook County, DuPage County, and Lake County. Each one represented a location tied to the financial network. Assistant Director James Kowalski stood in front of 200 federal agents from 6 different agencies: FBI, DIA, ICE, IRS Criminal Investigation, ATF. Operation Iron Veil, he said, his voice cutting through the silence. This is the largest coordinated takedown of a judicial corruption and money laundering network in United States history. We have 1,040 federal agents deployed, 72 SWAT teams, 16 Black Hawk helicopters providing aerial surveillance, and zero margin for error. If this network knows we're coming, evidence will be destroyed, witnesses will disappear, and the architect of this system will vanish into a country with no extradition treaty. At exactly 7 a.m., they moved. Luxury high-rises in Gold Coast, Judge Mahmoud's private residence, a sprawling estate in Kenilworth worth $4.2 million, a law office in Naperville that existed only on paper, a currency exchange in Little Village processing $27 million monthly in structured transactions, a logistics company in Joliet with refrigerated trucks that had crossed the border 416 times in 3 years. The simultaneous raids were surgical. Doors breached, hard drives seized, suspects detained before they could reach their phones. At the Kenilworth estate, agents found something that made the lead investigator call Washington immediately: a safe behind a custom-built bookshelf. Inside, $2.4 million in cash, bundled and vacuum sealed. Offshore account statements totaling $63 million, and a leather-bound ledger. Handwritten. Every entry documented. Case number, defendant name, cartel payment amount, and outcome. The ledger went back 7 years. The total documented protection payments? $217 million. But what was on the final page made seasoned agents go pale. A list, 23 names. Police officers, Border Patrol agents, assistant prosecutors, court clerks.
Taxes is feeling
Hey, so far so good.
now taxes is an open door.
Federal database administrators, all of them on cartel payroll. Pause for a second. Guess how deep this corruption went? The answer comes in 60 seconds. Because what they found next made the previous 14 months look like a warm-up. When cyber forensics cracked the final server seized from Judge Mahmoud's private office, they discovered something that forced an emergency conference call with the Attorney General. The financial network wasn't just operating in Illinois. It was a franchise model. Identical systems were operational in 7 other states: Texas, Arizona, California, New York, Florida, Georgia, North Carolina. The same blueprint, different judicial officials, different shell companies, but the same architecture. The Sinaloa cartel hadn't just infiltrated the justice system, they had industrialized judicial corruption, built it like a business. Scalable, repeatable. Nearly in Judge Idris Mahmoud, he wasn't the mastermind. He was regional management. The servers revealed communication with someone identified only as El Arquitecto, the architect. The messages were brief, encrypted, but the operational security was perfect. No real names, no locations, just instructions and confirmations. And one final message sent 18 hours before the raids began. If the Americans come, the insurance activates. The insurance. A phrase that made federal investigators realize they weren't just dismantling a network. They were defusing a bomb. Because Judge Mahmoud had leverage. Evidence files on federal officials, politicians, and law enforcement personnel that could trigger a political earthquake if released. Recordings, photographs, financial records, Enough to destroy careers and collapse public trust in institutions already hanging by a thread. This next part, I need you to focus, because this is where it gets terrifying. 9:22 a.m. Federal Detention Center, Chicago. Judge Idris Mahmoud sat in an interrogation room wearing an orange jumpsuit that looked obscene on a man who had worn judicial robes for 12 years. His attorney, a high-priced defense lawyer from New York, sat beside him in a $15,000 suit. But across the table, Special Agent Castellanos wasn't interested in legal posturing. She slid a single photograph across the metal surface. Judge Mahmoud in Guadalajara, shaking hands with the cartel operative. His face didn't change. That's when she knew. This wasn't a man caught off guard. This was a man who had prepared for this moment. You have 48 hours, he said quietly. His lawyer tried to stop him, but he raised one hand. 48 hours before the insurance files go live. Automated release. Cloud-based. Distributed servers in countries you can't touch. You think you arrested a corrupt judge. You arrested a system architect. And if I go down, I'm taking 2 senators, 11 federal agents, 4 mayors, and a deputy director of Homeland Security with me. The room went cold. Because he wasn't bluffing. The FBI had already found fragments of the insurance files. Enough to know they were real. Enough to know that exposure would be catastrophic. 11:47 a.m. Emergency Task Force meeting. FBI headquarters. The question wasn't whether to negotiate. The question was whether American justice could survive the truth. Do you expose a cartel-run judicial protection network and watch public trust collapse? Or do you contain it quietly and let corruption stay buried in the name of institutional stability? Assistant Director Kowalski made the call. Full exposure. Total transparency. Because silence is how systems like this survive. At 1:15 p.m., federal agents began arresting the 23 names on the list. A police captain in Cicero, a border patrol supervisor in Gary, Indiana, an assistant U.S. attorney in Springfield, a federal court clerk who had been feeding case information to cartel lawyers for 6 years. Each arrest was public. Perp walks, badge removals. The media frenzy was immediate. But the FBI made a calculated decision. They released partial evidence, enough to show the scale, not enough to trigger the insurance files. It was a gamble. And for 72 hours, nobody knew if it would work. 3:34 p.m. The scale of Operation Iron Veil became clear when the final arrest numbers came in. 340 individuals detained across 7 states, 8.4 tons of narcotics seized. Cocaine, heroin, fentanyl, methamphetamine, $467 million in street value drugs taken off the supply chain, $67 million in cash and assets frozen, 89 firearms, 14 armored vehicles, and the financial network itself, $27.9 billion laundered through the judicial protection system. Over 7 years. It was the largest money laundering scheme ever documented in the United States. But the human cost was staggering. In Illinois alone, fentanyl deaths had spiked by 38% over the past 3 years. 2,400 overdose deaths. 61% of them involved fentanyl pills that passed through networks Judge Mahmoud had legally protected. Families destroyed. Neighborhoods turned into war zones. And every dismissal, every lenient sentence, every case thrown out on technicalities, had put more poison on the streets. At 5:50 p.m., federal agents raided a human trafficking transit house on the west side. They found 47 victims. Men, women, and children smuggled across the border and held in a basement with chain-link cages. Some had been there for weeks. The smuggling operation was run by the same logistics network that moved narcotics. People as cargo. Profit without conscience. ICE agents estimated that over 200 additional victims were still missing, trafficked into labor, into exploitation, into invisibility. 8:12 p.m. The false ending arrived when news networks broadcast the headline, "Federal Judge Arrested in Largest Judicial Corruption Case in U.S. History." The narrative felt complete. The villain caught. The network dismantled. Justice served. But federal investigators knew better.
Passengers
Because at
flying into the US
9:47
from
p.m.,
overseas.
analysts discovered something in the final layer of encrypted data, a backup plan. Already in motion, the Sinaloa cartel didn't build a system this sophisticated without redundancy. The servers revealed that 3 additional judicial officials in other states had already been groomed, payments made, leverage acquired. And the infrastructure? It was modular, portable, ready to reboot in 6 months with new faces in the same blueprint. Judge Mahmoud had been in custody for 14 hours when his attorney delivered a message to federal prosecutors. One sentence. You didn't shut down the system. You just forced an upgrade. And that's when they realized the terrifying truth. This wasn't a criminal network. This was an operational model. Proven, refined, exportable. The Sinaloa cartel had turned judicial corruption into a product. And products can be sold. 11:38 p.m. Special Agent Castellanos sat in her office staring at the evidence board. Faces, connections, money trails, everything they had worked for 14 months to unravel. And yet the final question remained unanswered. Who was El Arquitecto? The architect who designed the system. Who built the franchise model? Who turned a federal judge into a corporate asset? The digital forensics team had traced the communications through 17 proxy servers across 9 countries. Every trail ended in darkness, but one analyst had found something. A pattern. A linguistic signature in the encrypted messages. Phrasing. Syntax. Vocabulary. The kind of pattern that behavioral analysis units use to build psychological profiles. And the profile suggested something chilling. El Arquitecto wasn't a cartel leader. El Arquitecto was a former federal official. Someone who understood the American legal system from the inside. Someone who knew exactly where the weaknesses were because they had once been tasked with defending them. The mole wasn't in the system. The mole had left the system and weaponized everything they learned. The final cost of Operation Iron Veil wasn't measured in arrests or seizures. It was measured in the question it forced America to confront. How many other systems have been quietly corrupted? How many other networks are operating right now? Invisible until someone looks at the pattern instead of the individual cases. A mother in Aurora lost her 17-year-old son to a fentanyl-laced pill bought at a high school party. That pill came from a batch seized in a raid 2 years earlier. A raid where evidence mysteriously disappeared from a police evidence room. One of the evidence clerks arrested in Operation Iron Veil had been on cartel payroll for 4 years. A trafficking survivor, a 19-year-old woman from Honduras, gave a 30-second statement to ICE agents. They told us the police couldn't help, that they owned the police. We believed them, because when we tried to run, the police brought us back. She was rescued from the West Side house, but she'll spend the rest of her life wondering how many others are still in basements, still in cages, still believing no one is coming. If you made it this far, you're seeing what most people ignore. Tap like, so this story reaches more people who need to understand how deep corruption can go. Comment expose if you want these investigations brought to light. Share this with someone who needs to know that power doesn't always need violence. Sometimes it just needs silence, ambition, and a system too complicated for anyone to see the whole picture. Because this story isn't just about Chicago. It's not just about one judge and one cartel. It's about a blueprint that works. And blueprints get copied. Texas, Arizona, New York, 3 more states. Same architecture, different names. The FBI task force is already investigating. That story, it drops soon. The identity of El Arquitecto, we're still hunting. Part 2 is coming. Subscribe or you'll miss what happens next. Because the networks didn't die in Chicago. They just learned to evolve. And evolution is what makes predators dangerous. Stay vigilant.
Okay, that's on YouTube that we follow that channel there. Thought that was an important one. Play. Okay, Captain Kyle, we got an 8-minute one. Oh, wait. I got some short ones I'm going to play real quick. This is the left burning up this gas station, I believe. The cartel members setting the fire to a gas station. In some country, I don't know how to pronounce it. So it's all over the place. About 8 minutes under.
This is a public service announcement. And what I mean by that is that you guys need to be very careful about the rabbit holes you go down, because you cannot unsee those things that are out there, and it will destroy you. My wife sent me last night a video of a guy that he is a man's man. He is not a blue-haired liberal libtard. And he saw the Skippy file, and it has completely jacked him up. And I had to actually go find his actual video, because the one that my wife sent me, someone else took parts of him and then a part of that video in on it. And I could not put that video back on to this platform and play it, because it's got triggers for people that have seen the entirety of that video. And I'm not going to trigger them and bring that back up in their life. And that almost destroyed me. Not that video. That video right there is, to me, for what I saw on the Anthony Weiner laptop, was like, that was grade school to Harvard Law compared to where I was at on the things that are on Anthony Weiner's laptop. And so you guys need to be careful about the shit that's out there on the internet and going down those rabbit holes, thinking that you can handle it and that you just want to know what's actually there and see it. Because you can't unsee this torture. And I don't understand how a person that is got an ounce of humanity could do these things to an individual for pleasure. Not just because they're sadistic or crazy or any of that. I'm talking that they're actually euphorically having a sexual experience from it. There is no way a person that can be actually a human could do that. And I'm just trying to tell you guys to be careful out there, because this stuff more is going to come out. More. Because they have the entirety of the Anthony Weiner laptop that makes the Epstein files look like grade school freaking. You have no idea how depraved these actual individuals really, truly are. It is when those 9 detectives in New York City, hardened detectives, saw the Anthony Weiner laptop, just as I did. Saw it. 12 of the 9, or 9 of the 12, actually committed suicide because you can't unsee it. It torments you. You can't get away from it. And it almost killed me. That's what took me to the dark night of my soul, was that experience. And like I said, I almost died from it because it tormented me. The PTSD that I got from that was beyond understanding. If God did not take that from me that night, I would not be here today. Please hear my voice. Be cautious about the depth and the depravity that is out there that you think you can handle because you just want to know. See it for yourself. You can't unsee these things, and they destroy your spirit and your soul. It is beyond evil. Beyond. It is nothing to play around with. I'm going to post that video of the guy that actually witnessed that video. And like I said, it's one of the milder things that are there. And it screwed him up. We're talking about a hardened man, a man's man. Not a boy, not a punk, not a libtard, but a man's man. And he will never be the same. Please hear my voice.
Original America.
Be cautious about what
welcome.
You go down.
Thank you for coming.
And be cautious about the shit that you allow into your life and the rumors that are out there and the information that's being just spun nonstop. Use discernment. God gave you discernment for a reason. All this noise is meant to break everything. It's all breaking. Don't get caught up in it. Don't get caught up in it. I love you guys. Don't get caught up in the noise. And please don't go down some of these rabbit holes. Don't do it. God, it almost destroyed me. I love you guys. Come call out.
Okay. Another Captain Kyle video. I got 8-minute one from the guy from TikTok. Oh, wait. I don't think we played this one today.
February 21st, the year of our Lord, 2026.
Right.
I'm going to show you to somebody. I want to introduce you. You probably already know her, right?
Did we play this one,
That's
guys?
Susan Rice.
Fine Eagle.
She worked for Obama and for Biden. Okay. Susan calls herself a Democrat. She was Obama's United States ambassador to the United Nations. Okay. From 2009 to 2013. From 2013 to 2017,
I can't remember.
she was Obama's United States National Security Advisor. Then for Biden, she was Biden's National Policy Advisor from 2021 to 2023. Miss Rice is a stone-cold Marxist. Just recently, like less than 48 hours ago, Miss Rice made some comments about Donald Trump and his administration and people like you and I. I want you to watch this, and I'll let you decide. All right, pay close attention here. My hand's shaking a little bit, but listen very carefully to what she says. She talks about the elites. She doesn't
Okay, thanks, Spaniel. Sorry about that one, guys. I just got a new video coming out with Nick Shirley, 12 minutes. I believe this is a new one, I think. 12
Welfare check. Are y'all all right up in there? Are y'all all right up in there? You fine?
Just keep.
Oh, your son? That's not cool right there.
New one.
You need help?
Well, how old's your son?
12
years old. He's living here on the streets. Can we talk to your son?
Why do you want to talk to my son?
Just
Tell him through the tent. Ask him through the. Can we talk to him through the tent?
Yeah, you can talk to him through the tent.
You need something to eat?
Yeah.
Something to drink? What you need? What you need? You need somebody to talk to? What's wrong? Huh?
Because I wouldn't let him use my phone.
You want a soda? I got a soda right here. I don't want to. The soda right here to you? You want some money? You want some money? I know that. You want some money? Take the soda. I can take this money.
And you better say please and thank you to everything that you are blessed with.
what do you like to do for fun? What do you like to do for fun? Ride scooters and stuff? What can we do to help you and your mom get off these streets?
How long have you been homeless, you know?
A few days.
A few days?
Is this the first time?
The first time we've ever been outside.
Well, we got to figure out how to help this kid. Who can we go talk to get you guys off these streets?
Hey, this is a good dude right here, man. You might want to talk to him because he's a major dude. He can get you some help if you need it. So, I mean, he probably can get you and your mom some help. So you probably want to reach out to him because he's a major dude out here. So you might want to talk to him because he can get you some help. So if I was you, I would. Talk to him, Nick.
I'd like to figure out how to get you and your mom some help. Can we talk to you real quick? Promise we don't bite.
Get out?
Yeah, get out if you can. What do you think we could do? You stay here. He's coming out.
Oh, hold on.
How you doing? Good.
Oh, my little man right there. How you doing, man? You in school?
Soon.
Soon. So right now, is there anything happening to kind of try and get you guys out of the tent into an apartment or something?
Right now, I'm just waiting for my income to come through.
How much money you guys think you need to get into a place so you don't have to be on the street?
I have no idea. I don't know how much rent is out here or anything. All I know is.
And how old are you?
12.
12 years old.
So if Nick can get you the help, would you accept it?
Heck yeah. Heck yeah.
So look into that camera right there and tell them, right? No, I'm just telling you, this can help you. This is going to help you. Look at that camera. And tell them
And we got this little kid
how
here.
the system is treating you and your son right now.
You're 12 years old. You just got here on the streets.
We could use a lot of help because everything we've tried since we've gotten to LA has been horrible. We got all our stuff stolen as soon as we got here. And yeah, we just need as much help as we can get, and we appreciate everything
I'm all right. Think
that
so.
comes our way.
Thank you.
In Jesus' name, amen.
And look, young man, describe to the people what it's like living out here on these streets, because we want to get you off them. And we're going to post this video.
Scary.
Oh, look, the
Scary.
sun's coming out.
And what have you seen so far in these past few days? You're a 12-year-old boy in America living here in the streets of Los Angeles.
It's cold. Coldness.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he knows what to say because he's still a kid, but
Yeah.
it's really scary out here, honestly.
And what have you seen for your son out here?
I mean, some people are nice, but a lot of the time it's kind of dramatic and crazy. There's a lot of nastiness on the streets and stuff. So people, it's just not
Very
exactly the
important
greatest
video,
place.
I think.
No, by any means. Okay, well, I'm going to give you guys some money. Hopefully get you guys in a hotel for a few days. I'm going to take your mom's phone number down. All right, and then I'm going to post this video, and we're going to see how we can get you guys some help and put you in contact with the best people we can.
And you got to make us one promise. You're going to be nice to your mother. If you be nice to your mother, we're going to get you some help. Look in that camera right there. Say you're going to be nice to your mother.
I'm going to be nice to my mother.
No, that's not convincing.
You didn't even look. You didn't even
Right.
look at the camera. I never been on camera.
I'm going to be nice
I'm
to
going
my
to be
mother.
nice to my mother, I promise.
This 12-year-old here on the streets with his mom, we're going to pay for their hotel for the next 3 days. And then hopefully from there, I'm going to take down our contact info. We're gonna make sure that this kid gets into school. This is what's going on here in the streets. And a 12-year-old has to live here. So this is what's going on. We're gonna make sure this kid's not in the same situation. All right, we're gonna give you guys $500. Get you guys an Uber to here to an hotel, and we'll get you guys there for at least 3 nights.
Okay, sweet.
Okay, there you got $500. We're trusting you with that. And now I got to see you book the hotel and then the Uber as well. And then we'll leave you guys alone. What do you want to be when you grow up?
YouTuber.
YouTuber. Why do you want to be a YouTuber?
Sounds fun.
Sounds fun. It is pretty fun. I enjoy it.
Maybe give motivational speech.
You give a motivational speech. What speech would you give to the people right now?
Stay healthy. Stay blessed, yeah.
In your 12 years of life, what have you learned the most?
A luscious ribeye steak with a signature blend of herbs and spices.
Not to be greedy.
Not to be greedy. Wise words from a young man right here. We're going to get him and his mom in a hotel for the next few days. Her hotel is confirmed for the next few days. We're going to order her Uber right now. And if anyone here in the Los Angeles area wants to help this lady out and her son, or works in any sort of program that can get them housing, we cannot let a little 12-year-old not be in school and also not be sleeping in a safe condition. So reach out to me and I'll put you in contact with them. If you have a program, seriously, please help. I'll put a link. Pack up your stuff.
See, he's doing what the politicians should be doing. There should be more politicians out here doing the exact same thing, you know, looking out for the...
Or there should just be people that have receive the money from the politicians in these programs. This kid's been out here for a few days.
No excuse.
No excuse.
No excuse for that. Yeah, it's a nonprofit, you know, and like I said, a lot of nonprofit, like a dude just got indicted last week for fraud. You know, he was feeding homeless people noodles and stuff like that, and he was getting a lot of funding and stuff. So a lot of funding is going into the pockets of a lot of these politicians. You know, and like you said, it's a lot of...
Oh, thank you. Oh, look at this. This kid's offering out all this food. You keep your food. You keep it. You keep it. Yeah, you keep it.
That's just him. He likes to help.
When's your birthday? My biggest concern is for a woman to be homeless. Obviously, that's horrible. But for a child to be homeless as well, that's our biggest concern out here. And if people can't actually, if they have all these programs out here, and if they do see a child homeless, I feel like they should be expedite that process. It should be a priority. So hopefully with these next 3 days of your housing being taken care of, we'll be able to get you guys put somewhere, go out and do your best effort to make sure that he's taken care of. Because he should be in school too.
Thank you. We appreciate that so much.
Well, it looks like we're getting everything packed up, and then we'll get you to the Uber, and then you guys will be on your way.
Yeah, we're so excited, so blessed, so thankful.
Mm-hmm.
We appreciate you so much. Right, Isaiah?
Mm-hmm. Isaiah, the next YouTube star right here.
Isaiah!
One day you'll be able to pay it forward as well.
Hey, Zay.
And so how long have you and Isaiah been out here on the streets of Skid Row for?
We've been out here for 3 days now. We've been in LA on the streets on and off for 15 days, but we've come up with money to get a hotel here and there. We've slept in parking garage. We've slept at the hospital. And then we finally came up with the money to get a tent. And it may not be the best place in the world, but it was somewhere for us to go that was out of the rain. Mm-hmm. So it sucks that we had to be out here, but it was better than being in the rain.
Yeah. My big concern is if you've been out here in the most densely populated location of homelessness, where you have the most amount of NGOs, nonprofits as well, and they see a kid out here for 3 days and no one really took action to do anything.
Nope, not at all.
You're my boy, Isaiah.
Yeah, he might have had a temper tantrum earlier, but he seriously is one of the sweetest kids ever. Like, for real. He's always been a sweet kid.
I mean, just think about the situation he's in. He's 12 years old and he's trying to figure out and see what's going through life and doesn't know uncertainty. So, but we're going to make sure we get you into school, into a place where you can at least sleep for the next few days and then continue on for the hopefully next little bit as well.
The heated blanket, all of it.
Yeah, get the blankets, the jackets, anything you think you might want.
Jacket. Blanket. So are we leaving the tent or what? That's the thing. Leave it.
Isaiah doesn't want that tent to be here anymore. Isaiah's never going back to the tent. Right, Isaiah?
Yeah.
Here we got all their stuff. Now it's time to order the Uber. Now we have Isaiah and his mom. They have all their stuff right here. The Uber is coming, and then they'll be off to their hotel for the next few days. And then we're going to leave a bit of responsibility in the hands of Isaiah's mom to do everything she can to get into a next location for them to stay. as far as getting into one of these programs, and then we'll also do our own part as well to make sure that Isaiah stays off the streets and can get into school and continue to live a normal childhood. So look at this. We have this van right here. They're doing some sort of outreach, but meanwhile they had a 12-year-old sleeping on the streets for days without them even noticing.
They don't even care. They just down here to get the money. That's one of the programs. They pay people, you know, to sign signatures and things like that to get different proposition signs and things like that, you know, signatures to pass laws and stuff like that. They pay the homeless $1, you know, to boost the signature and use their ID. So that's another scam. You walk around here, you see lots of people and lots of booths set up like that, you know, medical scams, as far as health worker scams and things like that. So there's a lot of scams on that too.
And I just can't believe literally a few tents down, there's a 12-year-old living for multiple days out here. Meanwhile, you have these people making money off the homeless for getting signatures and all that.
And the cool thing about it, you're going to see it's more homeless kids out here like that that's been overlooked and things like that. It's not getting help. There's a school right around the corner that buses kids from these tents and things like that, so-called getting help. You also go in the food line, you'll see a lot of kids going into the free food line, you know, to the shelters going to get free food with their parents and stuff like that. So there's a lot of kids with their parents out here that need help.
All right, over here.
Got it? Yep.
All right. Peace out, Isaiah.
Thank you.
Of course. Have a good day.
See ya.
Thank you. Thank you. See ya. Now they're off to their hotel for the next few days. It's crazy to think that here in the United States, we spend billions and billions of dollars on homelessness, yet you have 12-year-old children who've been out here openly on the streets for days and days, yet those billions of dollars aren't going towards the 12-year-old out of all the people that could be using it. Now that Isaiah and his mom are on their way in their Uber, this is the location where they're sleeping at for the past few days here inside of Skid Row. This is one of the most dangerous locations in all of America, yet a kid was able to stay out here for multiple days on end. This place receives billions and billions of dollars in funding through NGOs, nonprofits here in the state of California, yet a 12-year-old was left to be stranded here on the streets for multiple days, and nobody even took the time to put them into housing or anything. You have all these buildings and apartment complexes, but at the end of the day, it failed and a little kid was left to be out here on the streets by himself. This isn't made for likes or views. It just goes to show and highlight the fact that this is what's happening here on the streets of the United States. But hope you all enjoyed, and God bless Isaiah and his mom.
Okay, another good one, important one from Nick Shirley. That just came out an hour ago. Get some short clips going.
Assessment and to follow the money on TPUSA's financials. I spent my career at the CIA and NSA and also advised other intelligence agencies. I now have my own corporate intelligence firm. All of these opinions are my own. This analysis is my own for entertainment purposes only. Everything that I have found in my Doge assessment is public, okay? I'm just putting the pieces together and asking the questions because in a lot of this stuff, although it's public, the deeper you dive, the more connections you make, and that's where it really starts to get interesting. And I have found so much. Really what we want to do is get to the bottom of why did he ask for this audit in the first place? I've done 2 full write-ups so far. You can follow my investigation on my Substack channel. It is free to subscribe. It's not behind a paywall. There are only a few things behind a paywall. So please go over there. We are also number 27 in rising politics. So let's go. All right, if you haven't seen part 1, head over there. But part 2, we're going to look into one of the largest vendors that showed up, see what they're up to. As I'm going through the 990 forms, I see their 2022 filing, this new vendor pop up, Resource One, and it's to the tune of $2.9 million. At this point, I've seen so many vendors that have made me question a lot. So definitely took note of this one. Then I go to 2023 and I see that they're now the #1 vendor to the tune of over $6 million for a printing company. So I was like, why would a nonprofit in Arizona need not only $9 million of printing services, but why would they go to a printing company that's based out of Tulsa, Oklahoma? Why wouldn't they go to a local one? There's tons of big ones in Arizona. And this is where we pull the thread. So I'm like, okay, they're paying $9 million to, or in that year, $6 million, 2023, to a printing company. Let's go to their expenses. Why are we reporting that we're spending $1.3 million? So you spend $6.1 million on a printing company, but you report in your expenses that you're spending $1.3 million on printing. So where's the other $4.8 million? I got pretty pictures for us. Where's the other $4.8 million? Question mark. So I pulled the thread. Interestingly enough, when I go on Open Corporates to look at the LLC for Resource One, I see a bunch of different LLCs out of Delaware. Agent addresses are in Delaware. So blah, dead end. But here on the form, they gave us a Tulsa, Oklahoma address. So I look at that address.
I think this is a
address
new
that we just
one.
saw,
I'm not
2800
sure.
Apache Street. When I look it up on Open Corporates, we find Worldwide Printing and Distribution, because Resource One isn't even the company's real name. They're just doing business as Resource One. So if you look it up in filings, you're never going to be able to know who the real daddy is. There were multiple branches under the Worldwide Printing and Distribution. The one that I found the most interesting was this one in North Dakota. We have our little fundraising consultant branch. Why is a printing and distribution company having a fundraising consulting branch? Doing business as Resource One so that it can nestle itself under, nobody's going to look into it and figure it out. This was interesting. It also dissolved in 2025. I'm like, something's not smelling right. Because we all know that a 501c3 can't spend a penny on political anything, because everything's tax deductible for them. And if you're a political arm, it's not. And when your revenue is $84 million a year, mostly through donations, well, that's important to your donors. So I was like, and I started digging more. Meet James Moore. He is the CEO of Worldwide Printing and Distribution. He is also the chairman of a group called More DM Group. More DM Group is not a print shop. More DM Group is a $700 million direct mail political conglomerate that brings in over $16 million, according to their FEC filings, from PACs. They have 33 subsidiary companies. And if you go to their website, wearemore.com, you'll see that one of their 4 major service lines is political fundraising. So why is a 501c3 that can't spend a penny on political fundraising sending over $9 million in 2 years to a political conglomerate and then going to great lengths to kind of make that relationship murky? So this $4.8 million that didn't go to printing, that's unaccounted for, but went to a company that is a political powerhouse. You know, TPUSA, don't blame us because y'all aren't good at doing this. Like, you should have someone like me come in, kind of like a pen tester, to test your vulnerabilities, to tell you that this is the dumbest shit I've ever seen. Also, I looked at the 501c4 filing, which is the political arm of TPUSA, because I was just like, who are they paying over there? And they're paying, our girl Stacy at Cloverstone. She's paid out of there too from Part 1, but they pay a company called Conrad over $1.1 million, and Conrad is another subsidiary of DM Moore. So you've got $1.1 million going to the political arm, and then you've got 1.3 going to printing, and then you've got 4.8. We don't know where it went. CREW has filed complaints about this, and people could not put the dots together. So I do think that I found something here. All of this is alleged for entertainment purposes only. The fact that the White House put out we're not going to audit them, which is bizarre, really, you aren't doing yourself any favors. All right, stay tuned for Part 3, guys. I have a lot coming.
Okay. I'm not sure if I played that one. That was another good one from her. Hey, we got a Benny Johnson video out of Mexico.
Guys, it's Benny. Mexico has fallen, and if you are an American visiting or traveling in Mexico, you need to seek shelter immediately by order of the U.S. government and the embassy, because Mexico is in a state of all-out war. Terrorist attacks happening at resorts, terrorist attacks happening at shopping centers, at Costco's, cars being used as deadly weapons, vehicle checkpoint stops, absolute and total chaos in the terrorist state of Mexico. For a very long time, we have called Mexico a failed state, saying that the government is under the complete and total control of the cartels, and we have just proven that today. Mexico has fallen. Check this out. Cartel attacks. American tourists left stranded in beautiful Mexico hotspots as cartels torch cars and wreak havoc in code red attack. The U.S. State Department has issued a security alert for all Americans stranded in the area to shelter in place and to minimize their movements. There's fiery chaos after federal forces conducted an operation to kill a prominent cartel leader, and now these streets are filling with blood. Catastrophic photos from across the city showed buses exploding in flames, homes being torched, billowing black smoke everywhere. The intense commotion and code red warning was triggered in the early hours Sunday. Mexican army went into the rustic town of Tlapa, which is about 170 miles east of Puerto Vallarta, and they killed El Mencho. And this is apparently the name of the cartel leader, El Mencho, according to high-ranking officials who spoke to local publications. El Mencho was the head of the Jalisco New Generation Cartel, CJNG, one of Mexico's most powerful drug cartels, and played a key role in trafficking of meth and fentanyl to the United States. It has now been revealed that there is a direct connection to the U.S. Special Forces, who helped in the targeting and giving the Mexican army data on where El Mencho was. And they went and they yeeted him. The Mexican army killed him. So Puerto Vallarta, which is a very famous Mexican resort town, is now under siege. Crazy. Videos at the Guadalajara International Airport have seen circulating, showing smoke rising, people fleeing the terminals, running down the tarmacs. It's crazy. It's like Afghanistan withdrawal level crazy. Let's go look at some of the videos and photos because they're insane. Just a commentary on El Mencho, who's the head of the drug cartel there in Mexico, the most powerful drug cartel. I once spent 5 days with Mexican cartel to make a docuseries. They were by far the scariest, most ruthless people I have ever been around. Their value for life is non-existent. This guy was the absolute worst of them all. Goodness gracious. Okay, well, there he is right there. Wild passengers are fleeing onto the tarmac. Look at this. Passengers are running across the tarmac in the airport, at the Puerto Vallarta International Airport. Again, this is a very, very famous airport. Gunmen are storming the airport. Look at this. Mexicans just running, just sprinting out of the airport. Just running across the terminal, just running across the runway. This is just crazy. Listen to them. Just wild. So you can hear, obviously, the sirens are blaring. It's a $15 million reward by the U.S. State Department for his killing. El Mencho, again, is his name. Look at these passengers fleeing onto the tarmac, fleeing into the grass. Absolute insanity. There's smoke billowing out of the actual terminal itself. The airport has apparently been taken over by the cartel and by gunmen. Blockade underway. Civilians are being taken out of their vehicles, shelter in place. You can see here the blockade taking place across this looks like a major roadway, major interstate. And they're commandeering vehicles. This is crazy. This is the cartel doing this. This is crazy. So they're just deciding to take this vehicle. So they're taking this vehicle. They're kicking out the owners. And they've taken over this truck.
6 minutes.
Failed state. Intense clashes between Mexican authorities and the cartel. Crazy, man. Crazy. Somebody just filming from their store. Smoke billowing and rising. Again, you can see the high-rise resorts. Look at this footage. Look at this. And again, this is like a very, very famous resort town in Mexico. They're setting the entire thing ablaze. There's no doubt thousands, maybe tens of thousands of Americans that are there right now. Look at this place. That is crazy, man. Chaos at the airports after El Mencho is killed. People are urged to stay indoors. There's gunmen roaming through the airports, no doubt looking to take prisoners. What they're doing here, they're looking to take hostages. That's what's happening. It's being taken over right now by the Jalisco New Generation Cartel. This is one of the host cities for the 2026 World Cup. That's crazy. Dozens, if not hundreds of people are fleeing right onto the runways of the airports. Chaos breaking out at the airport. Again, this is just one of the locations. You can see the Costco is now on fire. Listen up. Listen up. You south of the border bastards. If you burn my Costco, you burn a Costco. That is sacred to Americans. How dare you? How dare you? This is the cult. That has crossed a line. You've now crossed a line. It's amazing to think this is a ambush of a National Guard convoy. It's amazing to think that this just exists right across our border. Like we share a border with this. We share a border with these people. With this level of, look at this. These are people like on their beach vacations. Dudes just like sitting there with their Coronas and their margaritas as the city burns around them. Wild, dystopian. Look at people just sitting out lounging. Just like flabby white whales just sitting there like helpless. Dude, you're going to be taken hostage. What the hell are you doing? Look at this. CNG cartels attempting and failing to set a gas station on fire. Look at this. They're covering everything in gasoline. That's crazy. This is insane. Straight up terrorism. Cartel members burn cars, take over the airport. Total and complete anarchy. They're setting up roadblocks all around and setting vehicles on fire. This is in response to the Mexican military killing cartel leader El Mencho. Again, this is just, look at this. This is like day after tomorrow stuff, like people just like driving down the road, like trying to get around. Armed men hijack a civilian's car. The cartels showed no regard for innocent people. This is like the image of what the cartel members look like. Good reminder that Mexico is a quasi-narco state. Parts of it are under the cartel control. They are always one assassination away from completely destroying all stability. Coordinated attacks across Mexico in total and complete military operation. Look at that. Yeah. Here is the map of the narco war that is ongoing right now in Mexico. These people are on the other side of our border. These people are on the other side of our border, and we have no security for 4 years under Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Just think about that. Flight trackers show that a bunch of U.S. flights that were bound for Mexico are now turning around. Mexico says the U.S. assisted in the operation to capture El Mencho.
45-1 again.
El Mencho was reportedly captured alive during the operation, but he died while being transported to Mexico City. Crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. U.S. played a role. That means U.S. citizens are not safe due to the ongoing security operations, related blockages to effectively stay and shelter in place until further notice. Total chaos at the terminal. Crazy, man. People are just running for their lives. Yeah. Listen up.
Just about over.
This had just hit nuclear levels. Tell you what. Look at that.
Drivers, when we're stopped and you see our lights are flashing, use yours. First,
there is a apocalypse unfolding, cartel scum retaliating like rabid dogs, torching vehicles, plumes of black smoke charring the sky. This isn't a skirmish. This is a precision-engineered chaos bomb exploding in a rotten core of a nation strangled by narco terror. These savages aren't just fighting back. They're reminding the world that Mexico's government is a facade. It's a puppet show run by invisible strings dipped in fentanyl and fear. F the cartels and the corrupt officials that let it fester. Wake up. Man, again, you burn my Costco. Holiday resorts in Mexico are packing up and telling their guests to leave immediately because of the massive gang war. Wow.
In fact, the entire airport may be shut down right now.
Man, that's crazy, dude. Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, get ready. What's going to happen next is that they're going, like, that the Trump administration is going to see this as open season. They're going to probably, and this is horrible, I'm so sad that I have to say this, they're going to probably take American hostages. Bad things are going to happen, and the situation is going to deteriorate quickly. And then this is going to spawn a greater cartel war across our border. Then we're going to have war on our border. It's going to be wild. The Trump administration has talked about this for a long time. I didn't know it would be popping off right now, but here it is. Okay, are you prepared? Ladies and gentlemen, get the hell out of Mexico. Pray for our troops. It's your boy Benny. Like, share, and subscribe.
Okay, another important one from Benny there. Okay, we got my governor finally making the news. I wonder what this one's going to be about.
Gretchen Whitmer actually stole the show. I mean, she actually really bombed out there. If you thought AOC was bad, just wait until I show you Gretchen.
Oh, no.
On Ukraine, what does victory look like? From my vantage point, go ahead. What does victory look like? Ambassador?
No, please. I'd love to hear your answer.
You know, it is. The two that I am on the panel with are much more steeped in foreign policy than a governor is. But you know, I do think that.
Okay, I just want to say, like, she wants to run for president. You know, she wants to run for president. She's not done just being governor. So she ought to have come prepared, knowing that she's doing a panel like this. And it's an international platform. I mean, these people just don't do their homework. Clearly, it's embarrassing.
I do think that Ukraine's independence, keeping their landmass, and having the support of all the allies, I think is the goal from my vantage point. Go ahead, Ambassador, do a better job.
Well, at least she knows that she sucks on that stuff, right? I mean, that was a bad showing. Okay, you had Hillary, you had AOC, you had Gavin Newsom.
Your
What do we
governor's
call him? Sparkle Beach Ken. That was Besson's name for him, not mine. I mean, it was just an awful showing. And then to top it off, you had Gretchen Whitmer. It's like they really don't know their stuff. And you compare and contrast them with the likes of, say, I don't know, Marco Rubio. Marco Rubio was a hit. I mean, he just had a masterful, historic type of speech there. I mean, this was Reagan-esque in my estimation. I encourage you to go watch the whole thing, but I'll show you one of my favorite parts.
If you have SNAP or Medicaid, you may qualify for a free iPhone or Samsung, plus up to 10 gigabytes of data.
We want allies who can defend themselves so that no adversary will ever be tempted to test our collective strength. This is why we do not want our allies to be shackled by guilt and shame. We want allies who are proud of their culture and of their heritage, who understand that we are heirs to the same great and noble civilization, and who together with us are willing and able to defend it. And this is why we do not want allies to rationalize the broken status quo rather than reckon with what is necessary to fix it.
It's great. I mean, he was absolutely fantastic. I'm looking at Beluto 5853. This is Marco 2028. I don't know. After that speech, I was thinking the exact same thing. I mean, JD, watch out. My gosh, it was so good. Jam 4111 writing Marco gave one of the best speeches I've heard in a long time. I thought the same thing. I like want to make my kids watch the whole darn thing together. We got to watch it together because the whole thing just gave me goosebumps. And it was really important. It was really, I think, sort of signaling that this is a new day upon us, right? And knowing that we have new leadership in the U.S. that hopefully is going to be here to stay for a long time. And I mean that. We need this continuation of the MAGA cycle in order to ensure that these principles really are followed through on. I mean, it's so critical. Cat Crazy Sam, thank you again. Writing, I think we're seeing a bunch of actors who haven't learned the new script. Now they're out floundering while trying to think through their new lines. You know, yeah. I mean, you've got the Democrats who maybe never understood a script to begin with, right? Because they never understood any of the issues that were at stake. And now you're up against the likes of Marco, who has spent his entire life thinking through all of this. I mean, really, this has been his career, and he kind of was made for this job at a really critical moment in time. I was blown away by everything he said. And, you know, he sort of gave it to the Europeans. They did give him a standing ovation at the end, but he put them on notice. In other words, we can't take you on as that kind of a liability. If you're willing to let every single person that hates you come into your country and live off you and mooch off you and then try and change your culture, which, by the way, it's a great culture, then you know what? We can't really be there to defend you because you're putting yourself in a very precarious, difficult position. And so we need to actually get you to be stronger in order to partner with you. We don't want these little weaklings who just, you know, roll over and play dead and let all these people come in and steal from them. And we're not going to let it happen here either. Thank you very much. Marco Rubio having to articulate again over the weekend just exactly how the whole visa thing works. You know, they forget that they're a guest in someone else's country. Let's go to Marco.
I've said this repeatedly. I don't know why it's so hard for some to comprehend it, so let me repeat it again. A visa, no one's entitled to a visa. There is no constitutional right to a visa. Okay, a visa is a permission to enter our country as a visitor. If you enter our country as a visitor, and as a visitor in our country, be it a student, a tourist, a journalist, whatever you want to be, and you undertake activities that are against the national interest, the national security of the United States, we will take away your visa. In fact, if we knew you were going to do it, we probably wouldn't have given you your visa.
Are you researching dental implants?
There's a lot of dental offices that'll talk about doing their teeth in the.
No, I can promise you, we would not have given you that visa. You never would have gotten that visa. And that's a big part of what he's been doing. And, you know, they get all worked up about that one too. But he's like, hey, if you're going to come here and be a rabble rouser, we don't need you here. You are here as our guest. And as our guest, you have to have a certain kind of decorum. You have to follow a certain set of rules. You're not going to go out and try and be a you-know-what disturber and get people all riled up and protesting in the streets. That's not acting like a guest. You are here because of our good graces, because we have kindly invited you in. And as a guest, you have a responsibility to behave and act accordingly. And the fact that the left doesn't understand that, I'm sorry, they don't have the same rights as the rest of Americans. They just don't. You're here on a visa. You're going to be kicked out more easily because we can kick you out. You don't get the same kind of privileges. You can't come here and try to. I love this clip. Okay. Like I said, we got a few gremlins on the road here today. Let's try again. I love this clip because it's not often that the view gets stunned into silence.
If you are an immigrant, you're an immigrant in this country. Yeah. Did you have a visceral reaction to what they're doing, what ICE is doing when you see the videos of it?
Well, I tell you, you said that the immigrant, I'm so proud and happy that I was impressed by the American people like that. I mean, imagine they came over here with the age of 21, with absolutely nothing. But the key thing also is at the same time that we got to do things legal. That is the important thing, you know. So you got to do things legal. And those people that are doing illegal things in America and they're the foreigners, they are not smart. Because when you come to America, you're a guest. And you have to behave like a guest. Like when I go to someone's house and I'm a guest, then I will do everything I can to keep things clean and to make my bed and to do everything that is the right thing to do rather than committing a crime or being abusive or something like that. So that doesn't really work in this country. So I think the important thing is when you become an immigrant, to think about, okay, I go to America because I want to use America for the great opportunities that America has in education, in jobs, creating a family, all of those kind of things. Then you have to think about, okay, if I get all of those things from America, then I have to give something back. You have a responsibility as an immigrant to give back to America and to pay back to America and to go and do something for your community for no money whatsoever.
Thank you, Arnold. The View ladies, they don't know what to say to that. He's right. They don't know what to say. And you know who else wouldn't know what to say? Ilhan Omar, who seems to hate this country, by the way, this country that's afforded her so much opportunity. So I realize she's a naturalized citizen. I mean, look, if Emmer gets his way, maybe not for long. I mean, Tom Emmer, the Republican from Minnesota, has introduced legislation called the Scam Act that would actually deport anybody who was involved in that, would denaturalize those citizens. Marsha Blackburn over in the Senate has also introduced legislation to get rid of the fraudsters. And that would, if somehow Ilhan Omar is trapped up in that, would involve Ilhan as well. We're going to have more on Ilhan Omar tomorrow on this show. So make sure, if you haven't subscribed, do me that favor. Gosh, do Cat Crazy Sam that favor, right? After getting you all those memberships. So please make sure that you subscribe to this channel. It's an important time, and it's going to get more important every single day right now. And I'm not discouraged by those polls I showed you earlier on. I'm really not, because I think that there's a lot unfolding in real time, and there's changes happening on the immigration front that I think will be better for the country, in that we're going to be able to get the access to the jails that we need in order to get out the bad guys, the criminals. And you know what? If you're not going to give us access, well, then, Tom Homan's going to do his thing. So we've got that going on. We've got better inflation news, and we've got strong leadership. Just look at what you saw from the likes of Marco Rubio. That really embraced, if you would, what Donald Trump stands for. So very, very good stuff. If you haven't subscribed.
Okay, another video from Trish. Got some short ones here. About 3 minutes.
You have to have an attorney to make a decision to fire somebody from the pedophile?
Or arrest somebody.
So why is your attorney accepting that one?
Because whenever you deal with personnel issues, you deal with attorneys.
But he's on paid leave.
Is he? Awesome. Hey, you know what else? I love how we had this shindig while there's students walking around.
That's called negligence.
In my home in November of 2023, while that man was sitting in class, texting her very inappropriate stuff on TikTok. I screenshotted them. I talked to Heather McKay. I called her as he was sitting in class, texting her. She said it would be immediately handled. I sent her those screenshots. I still have the screenshots. He gave her his number. He said he was sorry for how things ended her senior year, but he really cared about her. And that he wanted to hopefully run into her after she turns 18 so he can give her a hug. That was in 2023.
2024, well, shit,
So
2 weeks ago,
you
you
know-
told a girl you can't wait until she's 18 so they can be together. That's called grooming, folks.
Guess what? That's a child. You're a predator, and you're protecting predators. It's sick. It's disgusting.
You're just as bad as pedophiles.
Yeah, if you might get this.
It's easier to keep quiet, isn't
Are you gonna keep this under the rug like how it happened 10 years ago to me? He made an excuse that he tripped over a chair and touched my butt every single day. Shit needs to be done.
Agreed.
Thanks, babe. Thanks for sharing your story. Thank you. That's a lot
There's a couple of dads that are going to come see him. Y'all better lock him up.
Yeah.
People are doxing this dude. They're putting pictures of his house on my Facebook.
He won't even go to his own house.
And you know what I did? I took him down off there and told people don't do this because he's got a wife and kids there. They don't deserve this shit. You know, but
he has a wife.
You know whose kids they looked out for? The ones that this happened to. And hey, we're just gonna. The crazy part is that if I don't make a video yesterday, you guys hold this meeting and allow him to resign, and he goes and does it somewhere else. That's the only reason why we're here. We want him fired so he can't go somewhere else and do this. Like Connor Larson did a couple of years back. Oh, that might have hit a nerve, huh? Because everybody knows about that one too.
I know about that.
I don't know about that one.
We can talk.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll talk.
All right. Also, this is just the people who were able to show up at 7:30 in the morning.
I know the Board of Education was not the contact.
Last minute meeting.
That was recorded to them in 2024. Yep. I know that the police weren't contacted about the email that hit your stuff in 2024. That makes you negligent. It's hard to be a doctor with a felony record, lady.
They're not speaking to the next step.
Okay, that was an important one, a board meeting. Another one of hers here.
Files on aliens, UFOs, UAPs, and we've been warning y'all for years they were going to do this because they have to have a reason to explain away why so many Christians have disappeared. We all know that the powers that be must put out their plans first. In the 1980s, this game was created. It's the Illuminati card game, and it has predicted things such as the 9/11 attacks. And in this game, they also have this card, which are UFOs over the church. Not only that, but they have this card, tape runs out. And it says, when the rapture comes, I'll make them wait. I'll never clean my cage. Now give me some of ... tape runs out. You see, Satan knows his time is short. And they had to come up with a reason to explain away how so many Christians disappear. We all know that Israel became a nation in 1948. Regardless if you don't think those people are the real yous, it's still a nation. Well, in 1947, the UFO crash site happened. And this is also around the time when they went to space. This is also when they started talking about aliens. Now, aliens aren't what you've been taught. You see, this guy right here is Aleister Crowley, and he was a major occultist. And he would summon these demons or entities that look like that. And of course, they say this picture is what aliens actually look like, which you can see they are similar because they are higher dimensional beings, fallen angels, demons. There's no such thing as aliens. Isaiah chapter 66, verse 4, I also will choose their delusions and will bring their fears upon them, because when I called, none did answer. When I spake, they did not hear, but they did evil before mine eyes and choose that in which I delighted not. This is going to be the last day's deception, the great delusion. It's going to be such a strong delusion that the Bible says, and for this cause, God shall send them strong delusion that they should believe a lie. Because people do not want to believe in the truth of the Bible, they are going to believe this. They even have this card in the Illuminati card game called Martyr Meter. I find this one really interesting because everyone is going to worship the image of the false Messiah. They are about to play the alien UFO card, and the ones left behind are going to fall for it. They have been showing this in movies for a long time. Do y'all remember the War of the Worlds? Right before the aliens came out of the ground, there was a trumpet noise. And guess what? When the aliens did come out, they started evaporating people or disappearing people. They have been programming us to believe this since we were young. If you do not have a relationship with Jesus Christ, you need to get one now. The Bible says that if you confess with your mouth that Jesus is Lord and believe that he died, was buried, and rose again for the remission of your sins, you will be saved. Don't wait until it's too late. Listen up.
Okay, that was her latest one. Another one from her. Okay, we got another Q video. I can't remember finding. Oh, did we play this one?
The media, more and more that the left tries to paint Donald Trump as being some kind of a kook, the more and more he's proven right. Now, again, you guys have heard me. I'm not going to stand here and say that Donald Trump is always right. I'm not going to sit here and say that Donald Trump is perfect by any means. But what I will say is he does have a pulse on what's going on in America far more than the typical wealthy elite do in this country or in this world. So today we're watching horrific pictures throughout Mexico and videos of places burning because the cartel is in control. Now, Donald Trump said a long time ago that Claudia Sheinbaum, the president of Mexico, was not running anything, that the cartels were running the show, that they were the true rulers of Mexico. And he's offered for months now, better part of a year, to bring the U.S. military into Mexico and to shut down the cartel.
Hey, we got
now the question is why are the Democrats and why are the rhinos so against Donald Trump going in and taking out this terrorist organization on our border? Now, I'm not for any new wars at all. I don't like the idea of foreign wars, but we're talking about an insurgency in this country. We're talking about a terrorist organization on our border. If our military is not to be used for that, then what's the point of putting 100, 200, 500, 800 billion of dollars into our defense on a yearly basis? It makes no sense to spend nearly $1 trillion on a military if it's not going to be used on our border and to ensure that that violence is not coming over across our border and that we don't have drugs pouring across our border. We put this quasi ridiculous idea of a war on drugs in the 80s? And I would say if the war was on drugs, we're losing it pretty poorly. And Donald Trump has said, if we're going to seriously fight a war on drugs, then let's fight the people who are bringing the drugs in. And I think I have an understanding of why the elitists don't want this to happen. I think I understand why the elitists would give all of the ideas and all of the support in the world for going and bombing Iran, but they're not willing to allow Donald Trump to go in to Mexico and root out the cartel. Why do you suppose that is? Why do you suppose that the elitists right here in the United States would rather send soldiers to Iran than to our border? You guys know the answer. I think most of you guys would. Shout it out in the chat. But I'm telling you that for whatever reason, the elitists are benefiting more from a war in Iran than what they would benefit from sending our troops to our border and shutting down this cartel insurgency. But I'd love to hear your thoughts. Comment below. But once again, Claudia Sheinbaum has lost complete control of her country at this point.
Okay, we got a second cue there. This next one is a Georgia election board thing. It's 8 minutes, and then I don't think I played it, but let you guys know. Why don't you go on this one, and then we got Billy and a couple more after that.
I think by now everyone is aware of the FBI search and seizure that took place a few weeks ago. From day one, before anyone knew what was in the warrant, the narratives began to swarm, which
this was 2 days ago. Do you guys remember this
While
one?
there's public knowledge that I was contacted by the Bureau, I had no idea the seizure was going to happen or when it was going to happen. But I hoped for it because, as you know, we also subpoenaed for those same documents. But let me tell you why. When I joined this board, Speaker John Burns gave me one requirement, and that was to do the right thing. That was my only mission. I knew that I had a lot to learn. I knew that there were opposing perspectives and a deep-seated mistrust in our system. But what I did not expect was the number of people who would insist that the election was perfect and one of the best in the country, yet cannot explain how the process actually works once the ballot leaves the voter's hand.
I don't think
That's where I
really
felt like I
one.
could assist the most. I'm here to shine the light on issues that have stayed in the dark, that have kept people in the dark. Who you vote for is the only secret part of the election. Every other step must be transparent and it must be easy to understand. So you can't do your duty as a citizen if you don't have that understanding. So to be clear, we're not here because of conspiracy theories. We're not here because of sore loser activists. We're not here because a little bit of fraud that wasn't enough to change the outcome. And we're certainly not here because of some power trip to target Fulton County. We're here because our election has been in question for a long time, well before 2020. In 2018, Stacey Abrams distrusts the process, claiming of vote flipping, hacking vulnerabilities, and machine crashes. Many of the same people who are upset with her questioning today, many of the same people who were upset with us questioning the elections today supported her back then. We fast forward to 2020, and we all went to sleep with Trump in the lead. Our Secretary of State even confirmed in an interview on election night that Trump's lead was significant. We woke up and the lead was gone. That raised questions, and it should be rightful questions. It's after the first hand count, it was discovered that 4 counties forgot to upload 6,000 ballots, 1,300 of which were from Trump.
Wow,
Over the course of 3
Terry.
audits, we got 3 different outcomes.
Did you watch the
Unfortunately,
first show?
the machine audit
This is
said
the
Biden won by 12,670 votes. The hand
I'm
count
going to 8
showed a
o'clock
lead by
tonight.
12,284 votes. The certified vote landed at 11,779 votes. Our job is to make sure your vote is not only cast without barriers, but that it counts. Your vote is disqualified if it isn't cast, but it's also disqualified when it's cast,
Prayers out to
when it's
everybody
cast
getting
and
ready
isn't
for a big
counted
storm
properly.
wherever you guys are
It's
at.
disqualified when a coding
Hope
error
everyone's
causes
safe.
you to vote for the wrong candidate. It's disqualified when someone who isn't legal votes 23 times in our elections and votes on how your taxes are to be spent. It's disqualified when 300 people vote in your city race without you knowing, giving you a council member you did not elect. It's disqualified when a neighboring voter decides who your mayor will be, effectively canceling your voice. We are here because the public asked. Americans did their duty. They researched, they asked questions, they demanded answers. Because of that, we now know there were ballots that were double counted and tabulated. As we can all see, the recounts were off. Thanks to the
where
efforts
you
of
at,
many,
Terry?
we now see that our voter rolls are inflated statewide. And they were inflated when nearly 7 million ballot applications were sent to every registered voter, meaning a house where one person lives could have received multiple applications. This opens us up to ballot harvesting like never before. But this isn't a problem that is new. I've worked in Georgia politics for over a
Remember this
decade.
one?
I remember door knocking years ago and noticing that some addresses on my app had upwards to 13 names associated with them. And when I knocked on the door and spoke to the resident, I was told that only 2 people lived there and that the rest of the people on the list were previous tenants. That was over a decade ago.
Okay. Yeah.
Yet,
2 days
there's
old.
still a consensus from some that we are not to question our elections
wow.
or our elected officials.
How much is 48
which could
inches?
not be further from the truth.
Never seen that.
Protecting
that
this
much
republic
before.
isn't just the job of a politician. It requires personal responsibility from every one of us. There is a universal rule in politics that when the people drop the ball on our duty, the government will always be there to pick it up. And we're not going to like how the government carries it. Voting isn't just a choice, it's a duty. It is the price of admission for a free society. And right now, we are being forced to play the role of the adult in the room. And let's be honest, being the adult is difficult. It means making the tough calls.
Have you had
It
one
means
before?
demanding standards when everyone else is shouting for convenience. Americans have drawn the line in the sand. It is us saying that our sovereignty is not up for negotiation and our votes are not up for erasure. The only thing that separates us from a banana republic is our ability to choose our own leaders. And right now, the level of vulnerability in our systems puts all of our votes at risk. This isn't because our election workers are bad people. It's because they have bad leadership. As a result, they are underfunded, overworked, and left to fend for themselves as if we're living in the wild, wild west.
Keep us updated.
The days of defending those we elected to represent us are over. We are here to trust the word. We are not here to trust the words of politicians who seek their next office the moment they win the first one. We are here to hold them accountable to the job that we hired them to do. We are not the bad guys. Those who break their oaths are. The moment we start listening to weak narratives and parroting misleading talking points is the day we hand over our power and lose this country. It's time to stop making excuses for a broken system and start verifying the one thing that keeps us all free, and that's the American vote. And if you don't guard it, if we don't guard the gate, nobody will. That's my thoughts and notes. That's okay.
Please.
So, didn't I hear that lady say there wasn't enough votes to make the election? Oh, boy. Yep, I wonder how much money she got paid for. So I got a couple short ones. I'm going to finish off with Billy. Okay, sounds good. I'm playing this from Flying Eagle. Oh yeah. Where was it? Is it this one? Yeah.
Well, yeah! Because every important person and people you've never fucking heard of are raping and eating kids!
That was from Flying Eagle. I'll read you.
I don't think that it can get any clearer than
why the DOJ has removed everyone's ability to download any of the Epstein files and are also actively removing documents from their website as we speak, because in less than a week from dropping this new set of documents, 3 different countries have announced that they are launching investigations into the Epstein files. Lithuania, Poland, and Turkey have all launched general investigations into the Epstein files because cumulatively they have been mentioned over 5,000 times. The UK is individually investigating Lord Mandelson after he resigned because he's tied to the Epstein files, and they're worried that he was giving confidential government information to Epstein. The U.S. is going through a lot right now, and I don't think the general population is planning to mobilize over these files, at least right now. So I don't think the DOJ is removing these documents because the public is learning too much. I think they're removing them because they know that other countries will do something about it.
Yeah. You know, and the biggest takeaway of the Epstein files, and I'm going to jump down to it because I think that this is the biggest takeaway. Yep. Oh, by the way, here's some These are not AI, by the way.
Jeffrey Epstein.
Already ran.
But the angle that they put out today, no doubt in my mind, that is 1000% Jeffrey Epstein.
The one, but the kid is not nice.
Or I thought it was acapella. I met Nathaniel but we didn't understand the.
Through the hay, and the stories told.
Yeah, we used to rib each other about it.
God is you. It is true. It is true. Every word spoken.
I think I played it, didn't I? That one girl there at the end. Okay, I got a little. Okay, I'm gonna. Hang on, you guys. No, I did. I got that from Flying Eagle, Terry. He told me about this clip. Yeah, there we go.
Like a lot of us old people, because we're technically challenged. Okay. We're not physically challenged. We're just technically challenged. Big tech type of thing.
Yep. Flying Eagle sent this to me.
We talk about this. How are the kids going to react when they read this stuff? Okay. Well, I'm going to show you how one of them reacted. Here we go.
Yeah, I'm really sorry, Professor. I'm so sorry I didn't turn in that activity. I know it was really important that I learn about Punnett squares, and I'm sure it was really informational, and I would love to get that done. But unfortunately, we all just learned as a species that every single important person in the last 50 years or so is a cannibalistic pedophile. Do you hear what the fuck I just said? Did that register at all? All of your celebrities, all of your politicians, all of your multi-million and billionaires, they're fucking and eating kids. They're eating kids. They're eating kids. They're eating kids. How the fuck is nobody upset? They're eating children. Not just Weird Dan down the street. The president, several presidents, not just of this country, of others. They are kidnapping. They are systemically selling children into sex slavery and then cannibalizing them. Are you listening to me? Are you listening to what the fuck I'm saying? We pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, one nation under God, indivisible with liberty and justice for all. But all the people that have over $1 billion are sacrificing babies to an ancient God. I am not suicidal. My mental health is fine. I have a loving family and a great support system. I am not going to hurt myself or anybody else. But you need to fucking open your eyes. Oh, it's just a lot to handle. Well, yeah. Because every important person and people you've never fucking heard of are raping and eating kids.
Shout out to Hawk there. He always does a great job. You guys follow him. Flying Eagle sent that to me, so you guys go watch Hawk if you like. And yep, thanks, Flying Eagle. I'm gonna play. Shoot, I guess we better get Billy last one. It's 8 minutes, so we'll get Billy in. That's gonna wrap it up.
Practice. Welcome to Truth by Billy Bean
you
Flash
guys.
Update. Today's date, February 22, 2026. Time in Texas, about 6 p.m. We'll cover the cartel rampage that's currently going on and a small update with regard to Iran. So about 1 to 2 o'clock this afternoon, we had in this area of Mexico, about 60 to 100 miles from Mexico City, in the state of Guadalajara and the city of Jalisco, we had a takedown by the Mexican military, aided by intel from the U.S. military,
Greg, but
take
guys,
down the leader of the
big show earlier
CJNG
today, guys.
group, a part
This
of
is
the
good.
Jalisco cartel, take down their leader, El Mencho. Then shortly after that, the cartel groups went on a rampage, taking control of the international airport located nearby in Puerto Vallarta, and also taking control of a local hospital. We saw people running for their lives, evacuating the airport, the hospital. These cartel members were also just going down the freeways, taking people out of their cars and setting their cars on fire. We have unconfirmed reports that they also went to hotels and took American citizens as hostages. They have a demands that they say if are not met by 5 o'clock this afternoon, Mexican time, that the cartels will then begin to go into homes and hotels and indiscriminately kill civilians. One of the reasons that
if you guys could watch the first show, it was another great one we had this afternoon.
Mencho, the leader of the CJNG cartel, was taken out, is that recently the U.S. State Department put a $15 million hit on him. So that's going on. And we have in the Baja California, it's still called Baja California, but it's technically a part of Mexico since 1952. The cartels are blocking highways. The U.S. Embassy has put out an alert that covers 15 different cities in Mexico where the cartels are in full rampage. And we're learning that just before El Mencho was taken, unconfirmed again, that a temporary NOTAM was put over the airport in El Paso, Texas. And we have this. These cartels have also are beginning to hit Mexican military bases. They did hit in Jalisco, a Mexican National Guard base, and killed an unknown number of Mexican National Guard. The U.S. Embassy puts out a security alert for 15 different cities and tells Americans to shelter in place. And we have this. 15 cities are covered. The governor of Guadalajara has put out a code red alert for their state that contains the city of Jalisco. Jalisco has now effectively blocked 21 highways inside Mexico. And we have this, that the U.S. Military has provided intel to the Mexican military, and it's speculated that the U.S. military may get more involved if an official request is made by the president of Mexico, Claudia Sheinbaum. The Jalisco cartel have put out a public statement where they are telling people to stay at home, but then they put out their two demands: return the body of El Mencho to the cartel, and also anyone involved in the Mexican military or the U.S. military with the takedown of El Mencho, their leader, should surrender to the cartels. So that's going on. And we have this, that many commercial airlines have stopped flights to and from this area of Mexico. And the Mexican National Guard base was hit, and Mexican National Guard were killed. We have Air Canada this afternoon stopping all flights to and from Jalisco. And the cartels say if their demands are not met by 5 o'clock today, they will indiscriminately begin killing civilians in their homes and hotels. And we're getting this. Yeah, and they want the responsible parties in the Mexican military and U.S. military to surrender to them. And we have this. By BP Earthwatch, it's unconfirmed that U.S. citizens have been taken hostage by the cartels, and that Americans were taken out of cars and hotels. So that's going on in Mexico. And we have this.
Enjoy 24-hour access at most Planet Fitness clubs. $1 down, $15 a month. Deal ends February 27th.
With regard to Mexico, there is a NOTAM now, a no-fly area, February 22 to 23, over the Jalisco Puerto Vallarta Airport located in Guadalajara. And that the Mexican military, so this started 1 to 2 p.m., and it was reported by about 3 to 4 p.m. that attack Black Hawk helicopters were seen moving from the military bases near Mexico City toward Jalisco, and they are armed with machine guns. So it's unknown right now what the status is. And that the Mexican military is proceeding to respond to the outbreak of by the cartels, and that airports and hospitals have been evacuated, and of course the local police have been overwhelmed. So it's good to be in prayer for Mexico. We have a flash update for Iran. The U.S. confirms today that they have sent hundreds more troops to the Middle East to be based in Qatar, and that the Ford Carrier Strike Group is in place in the Mediterranean. Now, this troop deployment that took place in the last 24 hours is in addition to the 50,000 that went about 2 weeks ago. So it's good to be in prayer also for the U.S. military. I love you, and I'll see you soon.
Okay. Wow. I think tomorrow, beginning of the week, I'm probably better go back and do one show. Unless we get important stuff, but getting burnt out doing 2 shows. So 5 or 6 o'clock tomorrow evening, unless something happens. And yep, 2 good shows. Thanks, Fine Eagle, all the mods. Okay, Carol, Tim, And we'll see. So we got what, February 23rd tomorrow? We got 5 more days till the end of the month. And we will be in March. And they said by April. Is that what I heard again? So we'll see how the market plays out this week. And thanks, Paul. And so anything happens, everyone have a great week. And something's got to happen soon. Something, maybe Tuesday. Should we just do I might just do on the night of the State of the Union. We'll go 3:00 on the State of the Union Day and go 2 hours from 3 to 5, then come back at 8:00 for the State of the Union. So we'll plan that. So God bless everybody. Love all. Remember, please hit the like and subscribe to the backup channels, please. And stay safe, stay strong, keep the faith. Never give up. Signing off for another double header Intel Day, and Chico and Dude. Bless everybody of all, and have a great week, and see how things go, you guys. Yeah.